earlier today, Jordan Love went on to the Pat McAfee show, and it brought me back to those years when Rodgers being in Green Bay, going on the Pat McAfee show, and every single Tuesday we got to listen to Rodgers talk about the week and things like that. And today, Love was on there for about 15 minutes or so, and I just want to go into one question that I found pretty interesting, and I'll leave the whole link down below if you guys want to go watch the rest of it. But Pat McAfee is talking about how it's a crazy situation that Jordan Love got dropped into. Looking back to when Love got drafted by Green Bay back in 2020, he brings up how the Packers had just gone to an NFC championship, and then they trade up for Jordan Love in a time when most of us did not expect the Packers to draft a quarterback. So it's crazy to think back to that time and that it's been nearly 5.5 years or so since that happened. And so he asked Jordan Love, have you leaned on that situation at all? How do you handle that? And how has it affected you now? And here's Love's response. He says, it's one of those things that I understood after I got drafted, what the situation was, and I understand some of the frustration from fans and things like that. And then, as I get there, and then A-Rod goes out there in back-to-back MVP seasons where I'm in a tough position, but I understand what it is. And, I just try to do my best to just keep my head out of it, block out all the noise that's out there. It's a welcome to the NFL. This is what you're dealing with. This is the media and all the different things that are now your life, but it made me stronger, I think, because of it, and it's helped me going forward. Trust me, I understood the situation. I understood the crash outs and the different things that happened after that, but it is what it is. And so it's so interesting now looking back to that time, because imagine if the Packers did not draft Jordan Love, how different this Packers organization would be right now. Who knows what it would look like? And it's crazy how little moments like that, where the Packers in that moment, imagine someone else had drafted Jordan Love a few spots earlier, would the Packers even be good right now? And I think that's where sometimes organizations like the Packers are willing to make decisions that at the time are not very popular, and at the time, it seemed like it would be better to draft someone who would help the Packers right then, and no doubt it could have helped. But I think in the long run, these organizations like the Packers who have consistent success, they're willing to do things in moments where it's not very popular, and thank goodness Brian Gutekunst made the decision to draft Jordan Love, because now it's looking like the Packers will get to have another top-tier quality quarterback for the next 10 or 15 years, however long Jordan Love decides to play football. And so it's crazy to think how much time has gone by since that point, and I really feel like with the way Jordan Love is playing right now in his third season starting, it really does feel like he's taking that next step. And of course, Rodgers won his first Super Bowl in his third season, and now Jordan Love is really taking that next step forward. I think he's more accurate than he has been in years past, and he's starting to do things consistently, starting to play at an elite level consistently. And so thank goodness the Packers actually, decided to make this move. And I think that it has to be crazy to go into that situation if you are Jordan Love, just because typically Pat McAfee brought up how most first-round situations, people want you there when it comes to, quarterback. Most first-round quarterbacks, people are excited that they're being drafted there, but obviously totally different type of situation. And it was not that anyone, I don't think, had anything against Jordan Love. It's just that you already have Rodgers. So obviously that's a move for the future as opposed to making a move for the now. But, sometimes those are decisions that have to be made if you actually want to be a good franchise in the long run. And it feels like Jordan Love did a good job of handling it, because that would be tough to go from being a first-round type guy, and then you're immediately behind Rodgers. And on the one hand, it's awesome because you get to learn behind Aaron Rodgers, and who better to learn from a quarterback than Aaron Rodgers. But at the same time, as Jordan Love brought up, then Aaron Rodgers winning back-to-back MVPs. If you are Jordan Love, you probably were thinking to yourself, like, am I ever going to play here in Green Bay, or what's going to happen here? And the Packers trusted enough in Jordan Love to move on, trade away Aaron Rodgers. And now looking back, it looks like it was the right decision. But if you guys want with the whole thing, I'll leave it linked down below. Definitely an interesting conversation. If you want more Packers content, feel free to subscribe down below. I also put out Packers-Broncos preview and prediction if you want to check that one out. Should be a fun game coming up on Sunday. But that's it for this one, and I'll see you guys next time.